let me introduce the panelists or the students we have with us. So, ऐसे बोलते हैं ना बड़ों से start करना चाहिए. So we have Aryan with us, who is actually who is just finished his BBA with NMIMS. His hobbies includes football, F1, and horse riding. And he's looking to get into finance industry, where he's pursuing already a CFO course, and he has cleared level 1. Aryan, can you say hi to our students, please?
Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope well. Summer's here.
Yeah, man.
2 months before college starts for everyone.
So the next participant, the next panelist we have here is Rishika. Now, Rishika is the first year BBA NMIMS student. Her hobbies are playing pickleball, travel, cooking, and dancing. She hasn't decided any specialization yet, but she's leaning towards finance a little. She's enjoying her college days to the fullest, and she's studying pretty well. Rishika, say hi to our students.
Hi guys, hope you all are doing well. And my exams are approaching, so I'm a bit nervous right now, but hope you all are all well.
All the best to you, Drishika. And yes, thank you so much. We also have Tanvi with us, Tanvi Rautani. She's a second year BBA student with NMIMS. Her hobbies include painting and baking, and she's waiting to pursue a career in accounting and finance.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Tanvi.
Hello. Hi, Tanvi. And we have Bhumi Kothari with us. Bhumi is a BBA first year student. Her hobbies are swimming, travel, read, and write. She is aspiring to start up, have her own startup and her own NGO, and probably she'll do something in social entrepreneurship spectrum. So thank you all four of you to join, us today in terms of all the questions our students have. And just to take one question, Shreya, is there anyone from NMIMS Mumbai? Is it true the campus there for BBA is just 2 floors for another college building? Shreya, we would answer that particular question. The students will definitely take up that question. Just be a little, patient. Okay, I'll take up that particular question. So let's start with, with the questions I have, for the students. So whom should we start with? Okay, let's start with Aryan first, considering he's already completed his BBA. So Aryan wanted to understand, why did you pick up BBA, or what was the motivation behind picking up or opting for this particular subject?
Yeah, hi. So honestly, BBA just came to me if I had to put it in a way. I'll have to give you a little background for you to understand.
Please go ahead.
So like when school got over 10th grade, the only subjects I understood honestly were physics and math. Everything else went way above my head. And so the route was engineering. And then if you had to do engineering, you might as well try IIT. So I fell into that trap. And yeah, after the 11th grade, I realized this is not for me. And so I just chilled for a couple of months. I didn't do anything, no college, nothing. Like college was on, but I not done anything. And then I just got a lot into like finance videos, hedge funds, what are they, how they work, the kind of money they make. And then I was like, yeah, I think I want to do this. It looks interesting. And then if I had to do this, like in India, if you're in BBA, NMIMS is up there. So, and it's like close to home. So I was just like, why not give it a shot?
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you were not heading for a BBA, but it's something which you just kind of thought of giving it. It was something which you were not really keen on doing, or rather, it was not your first option.
It ended up being my first option. I had honestly nothing to do. Like no other thing was as good as a BBA for me at that time. So it ended up being my first option. When I started out 11th and 12th, when you start planning what do you want to do, BBA was not on the cards.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it was a pretty good choice. Gave me a holistic view of everything around me, of how basically businesses work. So it ended up being a good option for me. And
okay,
yes, that's how it happened actually.
Okay. Was it similar with Tanvi for you as well, considering right now you are in second year?
No, ma'am. Actually, I was always inclined towards accounting and business from the 10th grade itself.
Okay.
So I knew I wanted to pursue an MBA and either start a business of my own or work with my dad. Therefore, BBA felt like the perfect initial step for reaching my goal of pursuing an MBA.
All right. What about Bhumi and Drishika? They both are in the first year. So was it, your first choice to opt for BBA? Were you looking at, you know, with any other options apart from BBA? Starting with you, Bhumi, first.
As you mentioned in the introduction, I've always been inclined towards opening or doing something on my own since I was a little kid. Like my dad also has his own thing. So I've always been inspired by that. And so till 10th, I pursued science, but post that, I was inclined towards doing a BBA degree because it's, more generalized. There's no specific thing. Like in the first 2 years, we can explore through all the subjects and areas. And then
Mm-hmm.
finally, we get to decide where we do our master's or specialization in. So I felt like BBA was an appropriate mix of everything because I never really looked at doing CA, CS, or law. Like that was never on the table for me. So BBA felt like a safe and a viable option for me.
Okay. What about you, what about you, Drishika?
Yeah, quite similar because so I have done my A levels in commerce only. So like while I was in my 11th grade, I was like, it's time to decide what I have to do after 12th. And I knew that C and CS weren't my cup of tea. I couldn't be so committed, and I didn't want to study so much. So like I got to know about BBA through my friends, and they were also in NMIMS only. So I was like, let's see what the course structure is, and it was like very well aligned to what I wanted to do, which is like an MBA after BBA. So I was like, let's give it a shot. And I think it's going pretty well till now.
Very good. Good to hear that. Okay. So what I can understand, from you, that BBA ideally becomes your first choice. BBA definitely as a program, if you would see. Thank you, Arya. Thank you so much. Yes. BBA definitely is a program which would give you the holistic approach. And as you guys mentioned, it is definitely going to provide you with that particular platform, which would help you with your career, which would definitely help you in terms of giving you what ideally you are, what you require. My next question would be in terms of subjects. Is there any particular subjects you guys, all three of you, all four of you, is there something which you like about the whole program, something in terms of the curriculum, you know, which you like?
Subjects wise, the good part about all of this is because it's a private university, it's all very current and what's happening in the industry compared to your other like state or city universities. So with the subjects, what good is, again, there is a case study pattern to like most of the subjects, as well as if you go into like the subjects with numbers like finance, etc., it's all Excel based. So my final year, I did not need a pen and paper at all. It was all on my computer. My exams were on Excel. So I think this is really good. When you start working, you already know how to do most of the like things on, especially Excel, Word, PowerPoint. There are a lot of presentations. Every subject has a presentation. So you become very familiar with giving presentations as well as all the practical aspects of any subject you like study. So I think that's really good.
I have done, okay. I will take up the question. You guys can actually put up your question there. I will definitely pick, your questions. What about Tanvi? Tanvi, what about you? How exactly the curriculum and, what exactly the subject looks like?
So the subjects are very practical based, as Aryan said, and talking about the current scenario, but they also teach us very useful subjects such as taxation and like business law, which will be useful in the future. And like, yeah, it is very case study based. So we not only learn the theory, but also the how to apply it to different scenarios.
All right. What about Bhumi?
While I don't have much to add on because of the seniors, having the upper hand here, but I specifically feel that I am leaning more towards marketing. I mean, that's been something that caught my interest a lot. So in my FI, I have marketing as a subject. I have effective communication as a subject. So these two subjects have been like very easy and smooth for me, apart from like cost accounting and things which are completely new. Those are more finance heavy subjects. So while you asked about your favorite subject, mine would be marketing, effective communication, and all of that.
All right. What about you, Drishika?
I think everything's already been mentioned, but again, talking about favorite subject, I'd say it's completely different from Bhumi's. I lean towards financial accounting and cost accounting more because I've always had an interest in those subjects. And yeah, like I know already mentioned, there are like multiple presentations that we do during the course. So I'm just in my second sem right now, and till now I've given like around 10 presentations already. So I mean, there is a lot of application based and practical learning, which is a very good thing about it in my life.
First, we have, is there anyone from NMIMS Mumbai? Shreya, everybody is from Mumbai, right? Aryan, Rishika, Bhumi. Everybody
Yes,
is from
ma'am.
NMIMS
Yes,
Mumbai,
ma'am.
right? Okay. So yes, everyone is from Mumbai, Shreya. Is it true the campus there for BBA is just 2 floors of another college building? Now, this is something which is a very practical question.
Yeah,
Nice to
unfortunately,
see everyone. Nice to see everyone. Yes. So is it true the building is just 2 floors? Everybody's making faces. My God, is it true?
Oh, unfortunately,
So
it
we
is.
sit in the Mitibai building for lectures. We don't sit in the class building.
yeah.
That's a bit of a catch there. But we can
Okay.
access the class building anytime we want to. But you have to
Okay.
sit in the library also in the Mitibai building, not in the glass building. So that's the
Okay.
thing.
So be
That is still
prepared
a
when
good,
you come.
yeah, which is still okay. I mean, that particular area is not that bad. Shreya, FYI, that area is not that bad. Even if you want to sit in a Mitibai building or the NMIMS building, you are in an area which is always hustling, bustling. You get good food to eat around, and the whole area is pretty good. So I don't think even if you're kind of sitting in different buildings, that would be a problem. Do you get enough time to prepare for CAT, NPAT, or I think he wants to write NPAT, CET, and other MBA entrance exams?
Um,
Starting with Aryan, I think Aryan would be the next contender for MBA.
you do get enough time actually, because in your second and your third year, your college is only till 12 in the afternoon, and after that, you're basically free the entire day to do what you want. You start studying. So honestly, there aren't a lot of there are studies. There's a lot of study that is rigorous, but you got to study like 2 days before the test or like 2 weeks before exams start. So before all this time, you have a lot of time to do whatever you want. You can take up internships. You can study for your CAT exams, prepare for your CFA exam. So you do end up having time to answer your question in short.
So if you are saying that you get time, मतलब exam के 2 दिन पहले भी पढ़ोगे तो pass हो जाओगे.
There are different ways to depending on your end goal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. It's more like those midterm tests and all your class tests. So how much of you say you'll see everyone starting around you like 2 days prior? So how much of you try? The motivation doesn't come until you're scared enough.
Okay. Now
And
this is a good quote to
honestly,
quote to follow. How about the girls? Tanvi, Rishika, Brumi. Is it the same? 2 दिन पहले पढ़ाई होती है? CBA की
Test
चलता है?
के लिए, yes, like I study like 2 or 3 days before, but for exams I start at least 3 weeks because I get scared 3 weeks pehle.
Okay, so here the outcome or what we are taking away is that the threshold of getting scared, as Arden gave a very nice quote, that the motivation comes from you being scared. हर एक का थ्रेशोल्ड अलग है, तो अगर आपको 4 हफ्ते पहले डर लगता है, you can even start 4 weeks ahead and you can actually make sure that you're kind of. तो ये marks आ रहे हैं, ये ऐसे उतने ही लेवल के आ रहे हैं 2 हफ्ते पहले वाले, 3 हफ्ते पहले. What kind of marks we are looking at, like what you would say that it will be an average, in terms of what do you call? Do you see people being very competitive when it comes to BBA is concerned? Do you find crowd which is very competitive, starting with first year actually, because these are the students that are applying for BBA. So you would actually, they want to understand whether how the crowd is. It's very competitive, difficult hoga, padhai वगैरह सब.
So, ma'am, as Rishika mentioned, we have our exams in May end. So we are already scared and we're in the zone of, chalo padna hai, and everyone around us is studying. So we are all very competitive, but it's like बहुत ज़्यादा group study होती है. पूरा time we're in the library, studying together, helping each other out, sorting out study material and things, because we have different faculties. Like in one subject, we have 5 or 6 faculties. So different material is given around. So we see which PPTs are better, which content is better. And specifically speaking, if you pay attention in the lectures like well enough and you focus how they go about with case studies and things, it's very easy when you actually sit down to study by your own. So it doesn't really take that long. Obviously, the portion is really vast, but paying attention in the lecture is a must.
So the takeaway is pay attention, and this actually works. This even I have done in my college. The time when you actually don't attend the college, that's where the problem actually happens. Another question. So we have an anonymous attendee asking, I just took commerce because I didn't want to take up science. I enjoy accounts. I don't know if I can commit to CA. Any advice? I am from non-business background and the oldest daughter, so I'm very worried and if I will fail because of wrong decision. Can you give me any career advice? Aryan, you've done your BBA just now. What career advice would you suggest?
Honestly, I think you're on the right path. Yeah. Even I started with. So basically, if you don't know what to do, I think a BBA is the safest bet out there, because you can literally pivot in any direction during, after. Um, yeah. So if you, and CA is another field. Unless you love accounting, you can see yourself do that for the next 30 years. I don't think you should go for CA. So I think you're in the right place. Being from a business background or not doesn't matter. You will get enough opportunities after a BBA to get into the business background. If you like get into business, if you want to get into the corporate world, figure out your startup. So yeah, so I think you're honestly on the safest path there. And don't worry, you won't fail. It's not that difficult to clear, or like keep going. So you won't fail. That I can say for sure. And yeah, just chill. Now college is starting. Like if you get through, take it easy, have fun, and study.
What about the first year students? I'll come to the second year, but what about the first year students? What do you feel? Is it something? What a similar kind of feeling, or what the anonymous attendee is going through? Have you guys felt the same thing? Is it something which is very difficult? The anxiety levels, I think, what I can read through, the anxiety levels are pretty high for our students.
I would say I went to like the similar experience, and as I said, CA was something which I was like, I'll never do it because I can't study it now, and I'll just you also don't do it. क्यों इतना बर्बाद करना है अपना time? BBA कर लो. BBA is an easier path, and yeah, like it opens a lot of options for you. Like after BBA, you can do whatever you want, like specialize in. So I'll say, chill karo, you'll go through.
Tanvi, career advice our anonymous attendees asking for.
Sam, I think everything has already been said. I would give the same advice that BBA, if you really want to do it, you can do it. It's not that hard to do it.
It's not
So,
rocket science, so she
yeah,
can
it's
definitely go through. Okay, now a little serious note for the anonymous attendee. No matter what you do, okay, just make sure that if you are taking a decision, give your 100%. It's not that आपने अभी जो decision लिया, it's for everyone, all the 61 attendees here, all the students. Your growth will happen slowly. If you look at any person who has eventually just taken any particular course, they have joined something. It's not that everything would come easy. There will be challenges. The idea is do not give up. You will fail through. Just make sure the rigor is on, it's constant, and you're staying positive. Because you would see, if you look at people who are on a director level, you would see people who have achieved something. If you would see, they start in a very lost manner. They don't know where to go. It's that once you walk a certain mile, you know the direction where you want to go to. So anxiety is right, it's absolutely fine, but do not kind of doubt yourself. You're on the right path, just focus, do your best, and results will follow. Right? Next question. We have lot of questions. Okay. I hope anonymous attendee has got the answer. Okay. We have Saloni. Uh, we have Saloni here asking, is the first and second year, is there time to do internships? So Tanvi, Bhumi, and Rishika. First question. So the question has been asked in parts. So the first and the second year, is there time to do internships? Starting with Drishika.
So I personally didn't get time to do any internships because firstly, like coping up with firstly we had online semesters, so and then there was a change to offline. So that change, so getting habitual to it was a bit difficult. So, like that took time. And then as I told that NMIMS has number of tests and presentations, like continuous tests and presentations. So like for me, I personally didn't get time for internship. And in the first year, I feel generally it's not really required for you to do an internship. Like you can do that in the second or third year. So yeah, that's what my giveaway is.
What about Bhumi, first year again?
Even I didn't get time to do any internships per se, but then college expects you to do a summer internship. Like after your final exams of second semester, we need to do a social internship for 15 days in any NGO. So that's what college requires us to do, and that all of us will do. Apart from that, we didn't do any corporate internship specifically.
Okay. What about you, Tanvi? Have you kind of doing any kind of internships? Did you get time?
So after the second year, you have to do a mandatory corporate internship for 6 to 8 weeks. So I am currently doing an internship because it's mandatory. But when we had an online year, the first year, a lot of people did many internships because we used to before the college, before 12:30 and after 5:30, we had a lot of time. So a lot of my friends did do internships even in the first year.
Oh, okay. Uh, Now the second question for Saloni. Saloni has asked, is taking part in various extracurricular add on to your CV for placements? Does that happen? Aryan, starting with you.
Or you do have a lot of options for extracurriculars. If you want to be active in college, there are a plethora of options. Or from your entrepreneurship cells, there are different committees in college. Or add value to your CV, that I'm not very sure about. But for sure, I'll value to you and your personality. So there are a lot of options for extracurricular activities, which will benefit you for sure.
All right. Any views, Bhumi, Drishika, Tanvi, on the extracurricular activities question?
So in the first year, I was a member at that two clubs, one namely Corporate Interface Cell and the other known as Debate Society. And now entering my second year, I made it as the vice president in the Debate Society. So I personally feel, as Aryan mentioned, it's going to add value to me, dealing with people, the entire process of it. It's fun, it's wonderful. And, instead of only studying in NMIMS, I don't feel that's enough. So you really need to do more to it. And CV ka pata nahi, but in general, I'm liking it.
Okay. Any word, Drishika, Tanvi? Anything you would like to add?
So I am also head of department in sports club. So
Okay.
it helps me like get to know a lot of new people and like learn leadership skills a little bit, managing a team members and like a team of people. So yes, as they said, it adds value to me, but CV, I haven't really experienced it yet, so I don't know.
When it comes to CV is concerned, considering I'm working for almost like good 20 plus years, I can definitely give you this particular information. When it comes to extracurricular activities, whether it's reading, whether you are basically adding value to yourself. So when you present yourself, when you present your CV to the organization who is looking at, your CV, they would understand, for example, if a person who is interested, CV says that the person is very much interested in extracurricular, which would be like football, F1. You can understand, what do you understand by this person? The person is very adventurous. So what hobbies or what extracurricular activities you take or what exactly you do would actually add value to for you as an individual. So I hope that answers your question. In case if you are keen, that would only help you to understand, to kind of help your personality. Okay, so that is exactly that was kind of the value what it would add. Moving to the next question, how difficult did you find NPAT to crack? Now this is a question I'm sure a lot of questions, this question has been asked by a lot of students to me. How difficult is NPAT? Let's ask the person who have recently given, I mean, in terms of time wise, Bhumi and Drishika, you guys have, I think it's been a year, you must have given the NPAT. So how difficult it is?
So like my experience, it wasn't that difficult. I had just, I thought it would be because I was like all practicing and I was like, it will be difficult. But when I sat and gave the exam, I found it to be like pretty much, easy and like I cracked it. So I think it was decent for me.
Okay. What about you, Bhumi?
I didn't find it difficult, but yeah, I did need to a lot of preparation to get through it, specifically for the maths. English and logic was my like a piece of cake for me, but maths was thoda sa. But then yeah, I managed to crack it, so that's fine now.
Advi, next to you. How was the experience with NPAT? How difficult it is?
I didn't find it that hard. Maybe because I'd given so many mock tests and a lot of tests that when I went and gave it, because for me it was online. So I found it a little lengthy, but not hard.
Okay, it wasn't difficult. Okay. Aryan, do you remember what happened with NPAT 3 years back?
I remember, of course, but it wasn't difficult as such. I think IMS prepares you well enough for it. You just give your mocks, prepare, do the material, and I think it shouldn't be that difficult to crack.
Fantastic. How many of you, I mean, almost 20 odd, I have seen a lot of students have recently joined. Now, can we have a poll again? How many of you are actually applying for NMIMS? Can we have a raise of hand? Just want to understand the number here. Okay, almost 40 odd students are looking at doing or applying for BBA with NMIMS. Okay, so here the outcome for the question, the question which has been asked, NPAT is not difficult. Okay, with the mock test which has been aligned for you guys, we're from everybody is from IMS, right? Everybody or anybody who's a non-IMS student here. Just a non-IMS student can do a raise of hand here. Atharva is not an IMS student. Who else? Shravani is. Are you not an IMS student, Shravani? Pradeep is also not an IMS student. Okay, so students who are from IMS, they are definitely kind of starting with the mock test. Give your mock test. Make sure that you're practicing well. Making sure that this is not something which will be a rocket science or a very difficult path for you. Yes, maths is a problem. A lot of students go through it. It's real. The maths problem or math quant is difficult. नहीं समझ में आता है, which is understandable, but it's okay. Keep practicing, and I'm sure it is not as difficult as सब बात करते हैं. If you kind of give it a try, it will definitely happen. I hope that I've answered the question. Sakshi has a question. Is the MBA course connected to BBA course in NMIMS, or do we need to give entrance for MBA after completing BBA?
You do need to give another MBA entrance exam if you want to
Absolutely.
do the traditional MBA and MIMS.
So this is something which I would like to answer. The question has been asked by Sakshi. Sakshi, for a MBA program, if you're looking forward to do an MBA program, a BBA would be a different program altogether. However, when you plan for an MBA, the MBA rigor is much more than BBA. Though BBA kind of gives you a platform or prepare you a little bit, but MBA would be a different rigor altogether. And for all the colleges, it will not be moving from 12th to an F5. It will be something, when you're doing a BCom or something, it's just like your next move. But here you will have to give your another entrance test with all the colleges. So for MBA, you have different entrance exams altogether. I hope that has answered your question. Another question, how did you plan your study for the entrance exam in 12th, and when did you really start pushing for the entrance exam? I think you're welcome, Sakshi. Now, this is something which the first year students would be able to answer. Bhumi and Rishika, how did you plan?
So for me, I did my HSC 11, 12. So my boards got cancelled. However, I was preparing for the boards, but I didn't give the boards, the special batch. But
Oh,
then
yes.
but
Everybody have this little hatred for such people. Board mein bhi ye pass ho gaye.
I know. But yeah, so the actual preparation which I did was in the last 2 months, I'd say. I joined the IMS course 6 months before the exam, but I did the actual preparation, the rigorous one, 2 months before the exam. And 2 attempts are like good enough for you to, gauge kya difficulty hogi. After you give the first attempt of NPAT, there's some time between the second attempt. So that helped.
Okay. What about you, Drishika?
So for me, unfortunately, I had to give my boards offline because I had done my A levels. So I started my IMS prep after my 11th grade, and so like, but balancing A levels with IMS was a bit difficult. So I taken a break from IMS and I focused on my board exam preparation. And like once they were over, so like for 2 months again, for the last 2 months, April, May, I was all in for NPAT prep, and I think that was enough for like doing the mocks and all. And yeah, she said that the first attempt gives you a rough idea about how the questions are going to be. So like the second attempt becomes fairly easier then.
We have Nimishta who is saying that Bhumi was performing very well in mock. Thank you so much, Nimishta. Yeah, we got the proofs. So all students who are listening, Bhumi actually performed pretty well in one mock test. So if you perform well, I'm sure NPAT would actually be a cakewalk. It will happen very smoothly. What about you, Tanvi? How was the NPAT experience? How early you started preparing for it?
So even I did A levels. So my exams got over in March. And after that, I joined IMS. And I had about 2.5 months to 3 months because NPAT got delayed.
Okay.
So in those 2.5 and 3 months, I gave it my best.
Thank you. What about you, Aryan? Do you remember preparing for NPAT? It's been 3 years back.
I do. Sorry, I switched my camera off.
No problem. I can understand it's a network issue. That's okay.
Yes. IMS for me, I finished my 12 boards in March, April, I think. I did the 1 month IMS crash course program. I see Nimishta in the chat box. He was my go-to professor for everything. That 1 month, I worked a little hard, honestly. I didn't take it very lightly. The 1 month, but I think that 1 month is more than sufficient. The crash course is more than sufficient. You come in every day, you give your mocks the last 2 weeks, and I think you're good to go. You're set for it.
Great, great. So thank you so much for answering that. Another question now, Tanvi and Rishika, you both have done your A levels. We have one more student who is saying that I have done A levels too. I wanted to ask whether doing A level makes it an advantageous point. Also, is there a major change in study style when comparing A levels and BBA studying?
So I really felt like A levels helped me because we were already used to a lot of case study and practical based writing answers. So I think that definitely helped me. Also, the accounting that we did in A levels, it's the same thing being repeated. Even now, like in the second year after I finished, I see that some of the concepts that I had learned in the 11th and 12th are still being applied here. So it really does help doing A levels.
What about you, Rishika?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, like most of the subjects, like accounts, so full portion, I think I've done in A levels, which I'm doing right now. So it's very helpful. And yeah, same solving case studies and the analysis, it's very easier now because we already have done it in A levels.
Fantastic. So whoever in the webinar right now, listening this and are actually doing or have done A levels, this is something which would help you not only possibly for right now, but even possibly once you start doing BBA, it will still be helpful. And I think it's not only with NMIMS, but I think even any particular college you would go, the portion or the curriculum is as such that it will still help you. Next question we have Kashish Sajnani asking, Aryan, why did you opt for BBA degree in finance and not a BSc finance? Is BBA easier if you are planning or giving your level 1 CFA in your third year?
Okay, so Kashish, I'd like to answer by saying that your BBA and BSc, if you choose, so BBA gives you an option to major in finance in your last year. I again wasn't very sure on what I intend to do. That's why I wanted to do a BBA to make it more generalized if I don't end up doing finance. Coming to the difference between BBA and BSc finance, if you choose a finance major, 95% of your syllabus is the same. You probably will have half a subject a little different here and there, and the times you study it throughout. But at the end of the 3 years, you'll have done 95% of the BSc finance portion. And giving your CFA, so I've given my CFA, I've cleared my level 1. And so most, if you're giving a CFA, 80% of your CFA portion is done in your BBA. So if you're giving it by the end of the third year, you'll be done with most of it, and it 100% makes it a lot easier. So irrespective if you do a BSc Finance or a BBA, your CFA will be a lot easier.
Fantastic. I hope, Kashish, that has answered your question. Another question we have is there anything else you are studying alongside BBA? Alongside BBA, anything else you guys are doing? No, nothing. So I don't. No, now nobody's doing anything besides BBA. BBA se unko time nahi milta, looks like. The study is too much. And again, no matter which program you go for, which course you go for, whether it's BBA or anything else, you will have to give your 100%. So if you are looking at possibly studying anything else, a little bit more detail in terms of what exactly, or anything like an example, I think they would be able to answer it better. Is there a fixed set of subjects that you have to study in BBA, or can you select your own subjects? Tanvi, can you help us answering this? Is there any set of subjects you pick up for BBA?
So after the second year, you can choose a specialization in either finance or in marketing. But apart from that, there are fixed set of subjects and you don't have any choice.
You don't have any choice. So Rishika, would you be able to help us in the first year? What exactly, in terms of subjects, what exactly would you study?
Okay, so like we had basic foundation subjects like economics, like micro, macro, eco, and quantitative techniques, essentials of IT, principles of management. So like all the basic subjects, like these are the subjects that I'm studying right now.
Okay. I hope that has answered the question. This is a very interesting question. How pressing is the attendance at NMIMS? Who would like to answer this particular question? Let's start with the first year, Rishika, Bhumi. How pressing is the attendance?
Okay, so you need 80% attendance for you to, sit for the final exam. So yeah, and NMIMS is very strict about their attendance. So that is, and I think that's a good thing because as you already mentioned, you need to focus in class, for to study well. So I think that is a good point also, but a negative point also because like it's now thodi koi college ja sakta hai.
And the issue
It's not.
arises is during the sement because like otherwise we have 4.5 hours of college, like 2 hours of lectures, 2 lectures a day. But then towards the end, when they have to finish the portion, complete 60 hours of lecture per subject, they'll keep extra lectures like crazy. So some days we have like 6-7 hours of college, including presentations and internals and all of that. So that gets a lot. And hence we cannot do a CA or a CS alongside BBA to, conclude.
Okay. 6 to 7 hours. That's quite a much. What about you, Tanvi? Are you kind of able to attend, or attending every day kind of becomes too taxing?
So in the second year, you have college. Second and third year, you have college at 7:30 in the morning. So it is a little hard to attend a lot of lectures.
Painful.
And as they said, because of they want to complete the 60 hours, we have college sometimes till 2:30, 3. So it does get a little taxing.
I can feel the pain on your faces. Okay, so 80% attendance with NMIMS is required, and I think this is something which is a standard rule for a lot of colleges which we hear. So no matter which college you join, which university you go, if you take any program, colleges are very particular with their attendance, and 80% so required. Next question. Hi, I wanted to ask, how is NMIMS BBA course helpful for your career ahead? Like, does BBA and NMIMS help to grow? And what is the difference if you do a BBA with NMIMS or any other college for that matter? And I think, Aryan, you would be able to answer this question, in the right manner. In the course of your 3 years, as you have completed your BBA, do you feel, compared to other of your your colleagues who have done, or any friend who have done BBA from the other college, how exactly it's better, or what is the difference?
So it is a lot different than your other state universities that I answered earlier. most of your subjects are practical again, and you do a lot of case studies, and you give presentations. So most of the aspects of, especially the corporate world, if you plan to get into it, your first few years in the corporate world, all you have to do is make presentations, work on Excel, and present if you're lucky. So all these things are covered very well in your 3 years. You get used to doing all of this. So it does help you a lot compared to the other universities where most of it is on pen and paper. Yes, that's how. So
Okay.
it is different, 100% different. I would say better. And it's
All right.
also how you end up after your 3 years, where you want to do, which field you want to enter.
I hope that has answered your question. Uh, Kavish is asking any tips for NPAT. So Bhumi and Rishika, you guys have recently given NPAT. It's been a year. So any tips for NPAT? Anything you would?
So when we say that we studied for a month or 2 months in the end, it means that we studied every day. Like we were very persistent with it. You can't do like once a week, thoda pad liya and ho jayega. You know, Nimish sir and other professors, the mentors, they really guide us well as to how should we divide our day, and how should we place our mocks and module wise exams and all of that. So I'm pretty sure whenever you start, just be persistent with it and you'll get through it.
Nimish sir, I would like to take you online, and I think this particular question cannot be answered better than you. Please, I would like you to unmute and let us know. Please give some tips on NPAT.
Hi guys, can you hear me? I'm
Yes,
audible.
yes, absolutely, Nimish sir.
No, we have been giving a lot of tips throughout the year, so I don't want to answer here right now. The tips and all are being shared to the students on a very regular basis. What are the do's and don'ts for NPATs? We have done a lot of sessions, specifically related to NPAT and all. So whoever wants to connect, they know what are the ways in which they can connect with us. So please, guys, feel free to connect with us to know the best possible strategy. Since NPAT is lined up already, almost the month is over, and there are hardly around 40 days to go more for NPAT. So if you want to really give it a shot, we have best chance for NPAT, do get in touch with us. We'll share the best possible things, that you can follow and, finally get into your desired course at NMIMS.
Thank you so much, Nimish sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kavish, I hope that has answered your question. The point of contact is Nimish sir or any of your mentor. I'm sure they would be able to help you. We have Niranjan Arul asking, the Mumbai campus is generally recommended by many. What is the opinion on some of the other ones, such as Bangalore? I don't think anybody of you have actually been to a Bangalore campus for NMIMS.
I don't think there is an NMIMS Bangalore.
Yeah, so Niranjan, what are...
Yeah.
Please go ahead, Arun. You were saying something.
The Mumbai one is like the oldest one, so that adds a lot of value. There are.
Niranjan, sorry to interrupt you there, Aryan. Niranjan, what I'll do is I would get this information checked with you for you, and I will make sure that I get back to you with the information on this. Okay. So whether there is a campus, whether not a campus, how is the campus? I'll get this information and I'll make sure that it is something which is being sent across to you. So I'll get this. I'll get back to you on this. There is a Bangalore campus. Surya says yes. So how good it is, I would definitely make sure Niranjan gets the answer for the same. How should we prepare for maths and BBA NPAT? It doesn't seem that easy to us. Even the time doesn't permit much. Who can answer? Maths is a problem again. With all our webinars and all our students, math becomes a real problem. So how they can prepare for maths and BBA NPAT? Who would be able to help us with this particular question? Tanvi, would you like to answer that?
So I paid attention in all of the IMS classes, and I solved the mock tests and all, and that's how I was able to get through. Challenge for me was that I was from IGCSE and A levels, and we always use calculators. And in this NPAT exam, at first we were not allowed calculators, so that was a little scary. But I solved all the mocks and the tests and paid attention, so I think I was able to get through with quants by the end of it.
So it will not be a difficult if you are solving mocks. I'm sure this would be something which you would be able to crack. Next question. I too wanted to pursue MBA, but will I have the same opportunities if I do MBA from abroad instead of IIMs? Now, let me answer this particular question. When it comes to opportunities are concerned, if you're doing, your MBA from abroad, definitely the opportunities would be different compared to IIMs. But when it comes to, or which particular university you are going, or in terms of IIMs, which IIMs you are choosing, that would, that would make a difference. But I think eventually, how good you are scoring in terms of MBA, that would ideally be the bottom line for the anonymous attendee who is asking question on the MBA, who's looking to pursue from abroad. Even if you're doing it from abroad or from IIMs, your placements and all would definitely be depending on to what kind of scores you are getting and how well you are doing in terms of your scores for the MBA. Moving to the next question, is BBA hard or CBSE board exams of class 12th? Who is from CBSE board among four of you? None of you. So I think when it comes to NPAT or your CBSE board, you are kind of getting support in either of the ways. That particular question, I think you just need to send it to me. I'll ask a CBSE board student and I would be able to answer that. Anonymous attendee, if you're listening. How's the crowd of NMIMS like? Is there healthy competition or are the people motivated? When I'm around motivated people, I'm able to motivate myself. Now, that's a good question. How is the crowd in NMIMS? First year students, can you please help answering this question? Bhumi, how is the crowd? How is
So, ma'am,
the
I would say everyone's really enthusiastic. Obviously, we get tired because of the college schedule and things, but people here are so enthusiastic to explore things. Most of them are finance enthusiasts, are talking about stock market, crypto, this, that. So, there are a lot of conversations. Healthy competition is there. It's all fun because people here are of similar mindset. So, birds of a feather flocking together. And it's fun. We're riding through, sailing through with the stress.
great? How is the experience, Tanvi and Rishika? Tanvi, how exactly the crowd is? Do you find healthy competition?
And I think the crowd is really nice. I mean, we all, as one of them said, that we share notes and about different who is better. We decide and we all share and we learn together. And even for presentations and group projects, everyone is very cooperative. And I really think it's a great place to be.
Great place to be. Good. How about you, Drishika? Same view.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
crowd.
Yeah, very good crowd, healthy competition. It just encourages you to do better. So that's what we need in a college environment.
So if you are looking forward to join NMIMS, you can be rest assured that the crowd is good, it's healthy competition, and it will definitely keep you motivated. This is again a very good question. How are breaks structured? How are vacations? Who would be able to help me out with this? Bhumi, Tanvi, Drishika, how exactly is the vacation or how exactly the breaks are structured after first semester? Do you have a break?
We just had a 3-day break, which is very sad, but
Wow.
that's it. And after first year, so as we said, we have a mandatory social internship to do for 3 weeks. So after that, we get around like 25 days of break, and then we have college again. So vacation is something that we really need at NMIMS, but we don't get.
Right. Tanvi, same feeling. You need vacation, you're not getting.
No, like NMIMS doesn't give you like normal holidays. A lot of them we don't get, but vacations, I had a different experience. So between 2 semesters, like the first and the second and the third and the fourth, we do get very less, like 3 or 4 days. But between the first year and the second year, I got 2 months of vacation. And now between the second and I'm going to be starting the third year, so I have 2.5 months of vacation. In this 2.5 months, I have to do an internship for 6 to 8 weeks. But apart from that, also I do get a month.
Samay, I hope this has answered your question. There would
Ma'am,
be
sorry
rigor.
to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
the holiday structure has changed because we've moved to completely offline now, so we didn't get much
Okay.
of holidays, hence the difference between the 2 years.
Okay. Okay. So, Samay, just to answer the question, I think you have got it. Everything is moving back to normal. We are actually, absolutely moving to the normal state. So, you would not really find a lot of breaks, 3 to 4 days. So, as we have been discussing, this is something, there will be rigor in this particular program. So when you are entering, when you are taking it up, prepare yourself, have that mindset that you would be giving your 100% and making sure that you keep up with the rigor. I hope that has answered your question, Samay. Is there a MUN committee, MUN committee? Is it spelling mistake or something there?
Ma'am, as far as I know, there's no MUN committee, but the Road Track Club in our college does organize or participate something in MUN. I'm not really sure, but that's
Okay.
something that we do regards to
Okay. So
MUN.
there is something related to that. Okay. How to go about after completing BPA? Are you planning to get work experience for few years and then pursue MBA, or going to do MBA directly? Aryan, any plans for doing MBA?
I do. So it comes down to where you're looking to do an MBA. If you're doing it in India, I think going without work experience or even 1 year of work experience is good enough because that's the standard here. Whereas if you're planning to go abroad for an MBA, you would need to get in at least 3 years of work experience. If
Absolutely.
you're looking to get into a competitive university. So it comes down to where you want to do it, honestly. You have options of doing other masters abroad without work experience. But if you're looking for specifically an MBA, 1 year in India or directly, and 2 to 3 years if you're planning to go abroad.
So, Chinmay, as Aryan actually mentioned, if you're looking forward to do an MBA, 1 year of work experience, and if you're going abroad 3 years, if you further want to kind of go with the flow, work, you can always pick up an executive MBA, which will require 5 to 10 years. And beyond that, once you have decent, so when it comes to your MBA is concerned, the opportunities available for you even in the future, once you have a decent number of experience. It's just that the context or the content of your studies would be very different. It would be more according to what is apt at that point in time with that experience which is required. Tevi is asking what kind of internship one can do in the first year of college. I think this was answered by Rishika and Bhumi. Can you please repeat that again? Tevi wants to know. I think he's missed on that particular uh, part. The first year, what are the expectation in terms of internship? What internship are we supposed to be doing?
We're supposed to do a social internship in any NGO.
NGO, right?
Yeah, for 15 days approx. And apart from that, personally, if you want to apply, you can apply anywhere and do any internship for a month or two. Like in the initial months when the semester begins, thoda the college ka pressure is light, so then you can maybe try.
So, Tevi, for the first year of your with BBA, you will have to do an internship with an NGO for 15 days. However, if you are looking forward to do internship beyond that, you still would be able to do it in the first few initial months when you start with your MBA. Moving to the next question, I have not done accounts at all. Is it a good idea to do BBA? Who would be able to help us out with that?
Should I answer that?
Yes, please, Arun, go ahead.
So I was a science student myself, 11th and 12th, so I had not done any accounts. So I was in a similar situation as you. Good idea to BBA, yes, because the first semester where you have accounting, if you're not done accounts earlier, they put you in a division which hasn't done accounts. So they go from scratch again. So you will be able to cope. It'll be a little more work in the first 2 months of college, but you will get through. So that shouldn't be stopping you.
All right. Now, next question. We have almost 33 questions now, so we'll take it very quickly here. I have planned to do my diploma in digital marketing alongside BBA, although I'm not sure whether to pursue it in the first year or the second year or the third year. Any advice? So, I think the idea here is, which is the year where you would get a little bit more time to do an extra program or an extra marketing, diploma with BBA. Aryan, would you be able to take that particular question, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm guessing this diploma is going to be online. So, because otherwise you'll have to figure out when you can fit in according to your college hours. So college hours in your first year is 12:30 to 5:30, and your second and third year is 7:30 to 12. And if it's online, honestly, you can do it whenever you feel comfortable. You will have enough time all the 3 years to do it if it is online.
So, what I can understand here that if it is online, it is something which is still possible. But if it is something offline, you definitely have to do a lot of time management to make sure you are able to do justice with your BBA as well as for the digital marketing program what you're doing. Uh, what are the average placement offer for BBA general? Arjun, I think you would be able to take up this particular question. Have you received any, or have you any of your friends kind of got any kind of placement for BBA?
Yes. So now that college is officially over, around 50-60% of the candidates are already placed. And the average packages are around 5 to 6, somewhere in that range. There are a few companies that come and offer 4, 3.5. There are a few companies that come and offer 7.5, 8. It all depends if you're doing marketing or finance. Finance has a slightly higher pay compared to marketing when you're starting out. So again, to answer in one line, your average placement offers will be anywhere between 5 to 6 lakhs per annum.
All right. Okay. I hope that has answered your question. NPAT needs a candidate to have a 12th, grade 12th in maths. Is there any kind of compulsion?
Yeah, like if you're doing BBA, then you need math as a subject in your 11th class.
Okay. So, Saloni, I hope that has answered your question. Again, symbiosis versus Christ. Again, I would make sure that I have we will have a conversation and I would be able to answer that particular question for you. What you can do, Saloni, is just send me a hi on Telegram so we can have a conversation accordingly on that. Okay. What are your views on Christ entrance? Okay. Christ questions would not really kind of fit into this because these students are from NMIMS. However, if you have any question related to Christ entrance, kindly send it to me on Telegram. I would be able to take it up one-on-one. I am tilted towards economics. Is there any scope in BBA for economics? Rishika, Bhumi?
So in the first semester, we have a subject called microeconomics, and in the second semester, we have macroeconomics.
Okay.
Beyond that, specifically for economics, there's nothing. But then, if you're very much interested in economics, you could look up for BSc Economics at NMIMS as well, and that happens in the glass building, not the Mithai building.
Okay. Okay. So, Pranav, if you are tilted towards economics, BBA would not really give you scope in terms of economics, but yes, what I would recommend is BSc Economics, BA Economics. These are the two options which you can definitely go. Apart from that, there is economics option available with liberal arts as well. You can always take that option. Now, completely depends upon what exactly you are looking forward to opt for, post, or what are the career options you are looking forward to do. So that would ideally kind of determine if you want to go with BSc Economics, BA Economics, and even with NMIMS, they have liberal arts, which also give you an option for economics. I hope that has answered your question. Tanvi is asking, how long did you prepare for NPAT? Tanvi Rao is asking how long all of you have prepared for NPAT.
So as I said, I started my preparation after my 11th grade, but that was like I was just not totally focused because I had my board exams as well. So to be honest, around like 2 months of practicing was like the main thing that I did for preparation. Right.
Thank you so much. Another question, Aryan, I think you would be able to help the student for this. Is integrated BBA beneficial or BBA?
So I don't think NMI, I'm not sure whether there is an integrated MBA with BBA at NMIMS. I'm not 100% sure. There are integrated MBAs with your BTech degrees.
Right.
Which is a 5-year program. Other unis like the IIM Indore, I think, offers an integrated MBA. So that is a possibility. It should be good. because you can go, you're directly done with 5 years and you come out with an MBA degree.
Absolutely. So if you're looking at an integrated MBA program, I think comparison for an integrated MBA or a BBA would not be fair, because an integrated BBA is a complete different program altogether, which not only provides you a BBA degree, but it also kind of you finish off the degree with an MBA. Okay, while BBA is just a BBA. Post that, you can opt or you can decide not to opt for an MBA, or you can decide to opt for a different program altogether. This is something which is related to NPAT. Did you all solve all the question in maths in NPAT exam? It seems that there is a lot of time which is invested in maths section, as we don't get the choice of sections in order. Rishika, Bhumi, have you experienced the same?
Yeah, so again, math was like the subject that I hated the most. So, and luckily in our NPAT, we had an order of English, logic, and then math. So, like I was, so English and logic were my forte. So like I just completed them quickly, and then I had time for math, but then there were some questions which were like too lengthy, so just randomly marked them. So, it's like we were lucky at our point that math was the last section, but you all should, not take that risk and just prepare for the same.
Okay.
But honestly, it's not necessary to solve all the questions. We don't have negative marking. I'm sure the mentors have told you like kitne questions karne and how many minutes to devote and all that. So I went by that. I didn't solve all questions. I guess I solved around 28 questions properly and I was okay with it.
Okay. Does an IPM degree left within 3 years does it not give you a BBA degree? Laksh, no. IPM degree, if you're doing if you're doing an integrated, MBA, you would be there for the program for 5 years. However, we can give you a little bit more clarity on this. I would request you to just ping me on Telegram so we can have a discussion and we can answer that particular question for you. Does the school help out regarding internships, and generally is it industry oriented? So the internships, what you are doing, does the college help you out with that?
Can I answer this?
Yes, please, Tanvi, go ahead.
So we needed to do a mandatory corporate internship right now after the second year. So the college does help in getting, there is a placement cell that will help us getting to get internships. However, what we found was that there were more marketing internships being offered than finance internships. Therefore, I had to take an internship separately and not from the placement cell.
Okay.
But yes, they do offer internships and they do help you get placement.
Okay. Okay. Moving quickly to the next question, what is the general environment of the interview? Like the type of questions asked, what are the qualities they look for in the student? Rishika, can you help me out with this? Can you help the student? What kind of questions are asked in the NPAT interview?
Ma'am, we don't have an interview for NPAT, it's the exam.
Okay, that's just an exam.
Yeah.
So normally with NMIMS, the personal interview is only for certain programs you go for. One of them is liberal arts. So if you have given your NPAT for BBA, there is no personal interview. But if you go for liberal arts, there will be a personal interview, what you would have to go through to, to get selected for the program. I hope that answers the question. NPAT needs a candidate to have a grade 12th in maths. You don't need to have grade 12th in maths. NPAT would have quant as one of the sections what you would have to solve, Saloni. So if you have not taken your maths in standard 12, that is still fine. Am I right in saying that, Bhumi, Drishika? Just correct me.
Ma'am, for BBA, we do need maths on a mark sheet. I guess we
Okay.
discussed this earlier. Yeah, we need it
Right.
on the mark sheet for BBA.
We don't need that, Saloni, on the mark sheet. Have they given IP maths? Have either of you applied for IP math? No. Sanajit,
Let me know if you need.
none of them have applied for IP math. I hope that answered the question. I didn't schedule my retest for NPAT. Is that okay? Can I schedule it now? You'll have to check when you have applied, dear, and then you would be able to know. So in case if there is anything related to rescheduling, I would request you please connect with your mentor and they would be able to help you, the anonymous attendee asking the question. Can I crack NPAT by attempting English and logical reasoning fully and attempting only essay question in math? Okay, we have the head going no. Anonymous attendee is asking, and the answer is no. Right? The answer is no. Bhumi was
You'll have to study all three sections. You can't rely on just two because you're not going to score 80 on 80, right? Just by doing the two sections.
makes sense. Arun, you were saying something. Please complete.
Uh, the answer should be no, but when I gave my NPAT, I remember maximizing logic and English because I had only and I got to do like 10 questions in math, like solve 10 questions in math, and I got a good enough rank. So if you struggle in math, honestly, like you struggle in math and you have 40 days, maximize your English and logical reasoning and do math, but you should be able to get around, and when you're giving your mocks, you should be able to get around 20 on 40 at least in your math.
Okay. There's one more test question. Which areas does NPAT stress on? Verbal analysis, maths, or LR? The NPAT stress on all the three subjects. So it's about balancing how well you can actually write the paper. If your strength is verbal analysis, make sure that you give 100% to that, but make sure you opt for other one as well. Don't leave a section completely, otherwise chances of scoring well or passing would be difficult. Hi, can I know what all fields are there in options in the third year to opt for? Aaron, would you be able to help Aneri with this? She wants to understand all fields are there in options in the third year to opt for.
I'm guessing this question either means which major you choose, which
I think that's what exactly she's trying to ask.
so you have two options. You can major in either marketing or finance.
Okay. So Aneri, I hope that has answered your question. If you're looking forward in terms of majors, you can either major in finance or marketing. Next question from Pradeep. How is the curriculum of Mumbai University for BBA and how important is internship during BBA study? So Mumbai University question, Pradeep, just ping me on Telegram. I'll help you out with that. However, I think this is something which was answered by the first year students, how it is important because it will help you to get that experience which is required. Am I right, Tanvi, Bhumi, Rishika, Aryan? I didn't schedule my retest for NPAT. Is that okay? Can I schedule it now? Yes, I mean, you will have to check with your mentor or connect with any of your mentor. They would be able to help you after looking at when you have filled it. Is there any ragging or bullying as such? Oh, first year
I didn't
students?
come across anything,
No
be it
ragging or
online or
bullying.
offline. But yeah, be vigilant whom you make friends with.
Okay. What about Tanvi and Aryan? Aryan, have you kind of experienced any kind of ragging, bullying?
No, not really.
No? Okay. I think colleges are pretty much, aligned on those lines. How's the crowd at NMIMS and are people from Mumbai make up most of the crowd? I have stayed in Maharashtra before and I love the people. It's just that some Northeast can be rude. So I wanted to know how crowd is. I don't think we can generalize Northeast or Southeast or Westies or Easties here. But yes, uh, I think being a person from Mumbai, we know the NMIMS crowd is good, but I think students would be able to answer that well. So, Aryan, would you be able to take that particular question? You have been with NMIMS for 3 years. How is
Uh,
the crowd?
Overall, it's really good to answer a question, and of course there are all types of people. What is your type of people who you gel the most with? So you got friends. And so I've been born and brought up in Mumbai all my life. And coming to college, most of my friends are from North India. It's the loveliest crowd, the most genuine, hearty, passionate crowd you will find, and the most fun to be around.
Absolutely, Aryan. Thank you so much. Any difference of opinion, Bhumi, Drishika, Tanvi on this?
No, ma'am, I agree with him.
Great.
Ma'am, I agreed.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I agree as well. Thank you so much for answering that. And I hope you have got your answer there. I am tilted. I think this has already been answered. Do you have any digital marketing or e-commerce subject? Samyak is asking, is there any kind of digital marketing program or subject or a e-commerce subject there?
Not in the first year that I know of. I don't know about second or third year.
Aryan, is there any marketing or e-commerce subject?
In the first 2 years, I don't think there's a subject focused on this. It is a part of a few subjects, your e-commerce and your digital marketing. In your third year, maybe if your major is marketing, I'm not very sure on that.
Okay.
In the first 2 years, specifically focused on these two subjects as a whole subject, no, it is a part of a few subjects. Digital marketing is a big part of the most of the marketing subjects.
Okay. I hope that has answered the question. Earlier, you mentioned that your campus is in Mitibai campus. So my question is that do you have access to main campus that's opposite Mitibai?
Yes, ma'am, we can visit the glass building, the main NMIMS campus whenever we wish to.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I hope that has answered the question. Uh, we'll just take two more questions, and then the rest of the question I'll make sure if you have those questions, please ping me. I will make sure the answers are being sent across because we have crossed the time limits. Okay. So whatever the rest of the questions are, I will make sure that I pick it up and I answer each one of you separately. Okay. We have answered this question. Now, I am ISC's 12th student, so will it provide me an advantage to crack NPAT? The person is the ICSE board, I guess, ISC board. Rishika, Aryan, are you able to hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. So ISC board student, will that help them to crack NPAT?
Yes and no, because IS math is a little rigorous.
Okay.
So yes, but advantage is such, no, you still got to put in the work and find out where you stand when you give the mocks.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for answering, taking our time and actually answering all those questions. I know it was just for an hour and we have stretched more than an hour. Thank you so much for actually spending that time with us and giving us all the information. Drishika, Bhumi, Tanvi, and Aryan, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys taking out time and answering the questions. Any question related to the BBA, the general BBA, would request all the students to send a message on Telegram to me. I will make sure that I answer that particular questions. Questions not being answered would also be answered to you. I will make sure that you will get the answer personally on your Telegram or your WhatsApp. Okay. So thank you so much, Bhumi, Drishika, Tanvi, Aryan, for joining in today.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for
having
having
us,
us,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Most
Thank you.
welcome.